Greetings. Why don't we commence? Jenny should be joining us and maybe some others, but welcome everyone to I guess you could call it the Earth Day edition of Earth Day month edition of the EcoNet network. So I am very inefficiently and the like filling in. So why don't we just go around quickly, do some check-ins. Who are you? Where are you from? How are you feeling today? So Mr. Lawrence, you want to start? And then we'll go to Lynn and Joseph. And you're on mute.
Thank you, Greg. I'm Lawrence from San Leandro near Oakland, California in the San Francisco Bay Area. And happy to be here. Been working on ecological projects ever since I was a little kid and had some amazing teachers in public school. So I'm real happy to see this meeting that connects unjust corporate power to the demise of our environment so we can, fight on all different levels, including our long game to and corporate strangulate the corporate interest, killing our environment. Pass.
Yeah, and those two things actually go inextricably together. Corporate power, corporate rule, corporate constitutional rights, and the decline of the natural world. So, Lynn, how are you today?
Yes, hello. I'm quite frightened. There isn't much talk about it. Musk put out that he even said, and I didn't catch it all then, but I caught it on this replay. Musk said he is the dark Gothic mega. That is frightening. Okay, right out in the open, telling people who he is. And there's the latest bill out that's no one's saying anything because, well, okay, the latest bill, Musk-Trump bill, is $1 trillion more added to our Pentagon. You know, Bernie and was always, hey, you better audit the Pentagon. You want to go after any kind of,
Sure.
Judiciary or even financial discretions and what have you, right? Corruption. No,
Right.
They added $1 trillion plus, get this, 45 billion to go to ICE and building detention centers.
Yeah.
45, I'm telling you, it came out last week. There's not a word about it. Okay. And the scary thing is, what really bothers me is that Project 2025 has listed right up there with all these others that they've been doing with the schools, the parks, all the different systems that are good. They have right in there the plan to what's it called, mandatory drafts coming. Okay, and that's going to be though for 18 to 26-year-old, mostly males that promote Zionism and MAGA, right? MAGA Zionists,
Right.
and Christian nationalists. It's frightening.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
And
So let's
one more real quick. No. Let me tell you. I'll put it in the link, please. I put in a change. I was given an Oregon change agent certificate by a 3-time Oregon governor, medical doctor, as a registered nurse in 2 countries. And I was guided to put in change.org. They have their own change.org. They go with care groups and what have you. So change.org, I have a petition for legislation for a CARES Act. You pay people to care, stop warfare systems, because all the answers are within. We could have inner peace police training. This is nuts. Anyway, I wanted to share
Great.
that.
Thanks,
Thank
Lynn.
you.
Okay,
Thank
we're
you.
just at this point checking in. How are you doing? We can deal with the issues of the world here coming up, particularly as they pertain to ecological. But for the moment, who are you? Where are you from? And how are you doing? Moji or Joseph, and then Moji.
Excuse me. Aloha from Maui. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Very good. From Maui, Wailuku, Maui. Been here since 2012. It's home. Glad I'm not on the mainland. Originally from New York. We've got everything you got everywhere else, but it's a little different. The Aloha spirit still has oh, an influence, although our American culture fights it all the time. Feeling overwhelmed some, and I did get a little piece of good news that I'll share up front, and that is that I heard today from a friend who I trust that the Supreme Court has called 47 on an impeachable offense, and I'm blanking on what it was.
Take your pick.
No, it was about the Supreme Court. Contempt. Criminal contempt. Yesterday, they called by a unanimous judgment. They're calling Trump for criminal contempt of the Supreme Court. That's an impeachable offense, and it's some of the most hopeful thing I've heard in quite some time. So, and it's super shocking to be coming from that court, which he put there, right? Largely. So, yeah, there is hope in the world, but it feels really hard sometimes.
It does.
I'm in with that. Thank you.
Thanks for that. Something to look up. I mean, I know there's been some decisions made saying they have violated the basic rule of law and gone against and the like and defied judicial order, which certainly is punishable by prison. So it could be any number of things. So thanks for that. Why don't we go to Barbara, and I'm not sure who is on 707 area code, but Barbara?
That's Jenny.
Oh, Jenny? Okay. And then Alfonso. Barbara?
Yeah, hi. What are we discussing since I
Oh, we're just giving at
missed
this point name, where you're from, and how are you doing at the moment?
Okay. My name is Barbara Laxon. I'm with the Green Party of Pennsylvania, and I'm also on the Peace Action and the Eco Action committees, as well as many local organizations. And I'm doing okay right now, I guess. I've got so many things going on, but things seem to be getting better. I'm got my fingers crossed. So
Great. We can hope and we can work for it. So hope is important, but also working for is important. So Jenny, Alfonso.
Hi, glad to be here. I had to come in through the phone because my computer would not let me in, so I'm resetting it. Hopefully it'll come on. I'm just a little stressed out about that. But I'm doing well. I'm stressed out about all the other things. You would think treason would have been an criminal worthy of criminal contempt charge, but I digress. I'm glad I'm here, and glad to be in this space with y'all.
We're glad you made it, and hopefully you'll be a little de-stressed as time goes on. Stress
thank you, team.
Not a good, healthy
Help a lot.
situation. Not a good, healthy situation. Alfonso.
Hi everyone. Yeah, I echo a lot of the sentiments shared and the preoccupation about the state of the union, the state of the country, then the world. But this call is by far one of my favorites because it always fills me with hope, seeing a lot of people caring about the planet and trying to be proactive. So really looking forward to this conversation and happy to see all of you. And again, sorry, I explained in the chat what happened. We had to switch Zoom lines on the fly, so apologies for the technical difficulties.
Well, and thanks for doing that. On the fly at the moment, without warning. So appreciate it from all of those perspectives, Alfonso.
No worries.
And I'm doing all right.
Wishing for heart emojis.
Yeah, right. And Moji, how are you?
You mentioned my name, but then you skipped me a couple twice. Well, I am actually in another Zoom, the National Day of Action. The academics they are having a major day of action. I've been in 3 of their Zooms already, and I'm in the capstone session, whereby the universities in this country are, as you know, under attack. And so, um, so as far as how I feel like I'm in Iran,
Hmm.
because the Iranian academics and the students have been persecuted under the regime in Iran, and now I am living in the so-called the land of the so-called free and the brave, and we have a regime, and is persecuting people, especially people like me, males from the Middle East. And so, so anyhow, I feel I see a lot of folks are so shocked, and I am not. I'm saying, okay, I've seen this movie before, and it has just come home. The chickens have come home to roost. Dr. Mossadegh of Iran, overthrown in 1953 by the CIA and MI6, he said after the coup, internal despotism and external colonialism are 2 sides of the same coin, especially when they need one another as enemy. And I was chanting in 2003, before the US attacked Iraq. I was part of a huge demonstration in San Francisco. I was part of the interfaith leaders group. I'm a Sufi monk. Anyhow, we were chanting internal repression, external aggression, internal repression. So it's the same thing basically, except it is now, you know, this kind of repression was only for, those brown-skinned blacks or indigenous, the global South people. But now the people in the global North are tasting it, and I hope it causes people to really organize. And Greg, about my Chomsky endorsed chambers of compassion, so that we can bring together the 3.5%. Erica Chenoweth, she put a numerical value on when 3.5% of a population of a country are really engaged and collaborate, then the power structure has no choice but to respond. In this country, I've traveled and taught and whatever, there is more than 3.5%, except we are extremely fragmented. Hence the chambers of compassion, in contrast with chambers of commerce. So anyhow,
Thank you for that.
if you don't mind, I want to go back to the other Zoom. It's about 300 academics.
Wow.
Yeah.
Impressive.
And so thank you for what you're doing, Greg. And I hope perhaps you can organize one session where I would talk a little bit more about how to get a chamber of compassion going.
I have to
Wait a
interrupt
second.
real quick.
Wait a second. No, no, no,
He's
no, no,
gonna
no,
leave.
no. Let's finish. Let's follow the protocol, please.
Okay, Moji, though, if
Okay.
he's gonna leave, these
No, please.
these are for
Please.
him.
No.
Please.
Anyhow, thank you. And now that I'm interrupted, I will leave. Thank you.
Okay. Robert? Want to check in? We're just saying who we are, where we're from, and how we're feeling. if you care to. You're on mute. Okay, well, if you want to later on, feel free to do that. And I'm fine, given everything, which is horrific. Just trying to stay balanced and focus on the principles of courage, justice, moderation, and wisdom, which ain't easy these days. But anyway, now that you are back on, Jenny, wondered if you wanted to kind of resume facilitating.
I can do that. And my apologies for, am I getting feedback? Maybe
Nope,
this will,
you're fine.
No,
okay.
you're fine.
My apologies for all of the technical issues. I think I'm about to lose my computer. I want to open it up. I know that, Lynn, you had some more you wanted to say, and I want to give you an opportunity to speak. We do want to be mindful that we want to step up and step back when it's time, and give everybody an opportunity to talk. We can definitely connect you with Moji. He's shared his contact information in this space many times, and I'll be happy to connect you with him. He's a wonderful person, and I think that y'all will find a lot of intersectional work. I see, Robert, that you stepped out and came back in. Is that because you were having problems with your um, audio? And would you like to check in? Okay, well, if you're able to unmute and you want to check in at any time, please don't hesitate to let us know. Okay, so I want to open it up. I know that we're all feeling a lot of anxiety. I think what we would do now to move into, maybe we could just kind of take a deep breath, kind of ground together as well. I came into this space rushing and feeling very stressed. I know that we all have all this external stress going on. It's good to see you, Joseph. Haven't seen you in a while. Um, I've forgotten my Hawaiian aloha. I was like, where did it go? It's the message for everything, right? So let's bring a lot of aloha here into this space. It's like you said, something about being near all of that new, fresh, newest earth, basically on the planet comes in Hawaii, and I spent a good deal of time out on Big Eye, and after their last earthquake that took many of my friends' pukas. And so let's just take a deep breath. Let's bring it all the way to the bottom of our stomach. And then just ground ourselves in where we're at. We're here to network and to share our work, to get inspired with each other. Let's let out all the negative that has brought us to this work, and take another deep breath in, and all the love that keep us in this work and also brought us to this work. Spring is springing all over the place. We had the great fortune of being in DC and seeing the amazing
Jerry,
Cherry blossoms.
their names,
Cherry
see cherry
blossoms.
blossoms. That's how that's how all over I am. So, and take another deep breath. Thank you all for indulging. Let's move our shoulders a little, and like Alfonso says, this is one of my favorite spaces of the month, and I appreciate y'all indulging the time that we needed to be able to get here. Last week was very hectic, and we wanted to come into the space sharing the good news of things that we were doing with you. So I'm excited to do that, and I'm super excited to hear what y'all have going on. So I want to open up some stack. Oh, Alfonso put some beautiful cherry blossoms that we saw in DC in the chat if you get a chance to look at that. But I want to open it up.
what are y'all working on right now? What's the most pressing? What can we do to support some of the work that you're doing? One more deep breath and open stack. Who would like to start? Okay, Lynn.
Thank you. Sorry, when he said he was going to leave, it almost broke my heart because that Veterans for Peace that he has, I have it on my window. My Army captain brother and I helped start Veterans for Peace and Code Pink. So that's why when he's going to leave, I thought, can you get this information I put in the chat to him for his people? Because they're really important. And the one really big is, I'm an Oregon change agent I was given an Oregon change agent certificate, 3-time Oregon governor for my work with jobs creation as a registered nurse in 2 countries. This is a governor, 3-time medical doctor. I was registered nurse, 2 countries. So I'm all involved with single payer healthcare systems. Help that happen too. Anyway, this change came to me to put in here, and it goes on change.org. It's in the chat. There's a petition. It's under CARES Act. It's for a caring act where you pay people to care, and there's a way to financially, and it explains how we can go about with our congressional budget office, what have you, and change the systems with our Congress. We can do this with stop the warfare systems, because there's systems that are in place and they've got to go to cleanup. So I just wanted to tell you that's what I'm working on, getting all the churches, and that's URI.org and these Global Peace Tribe. May peace prevail on earth. That group's out of Japan, and they're really, no one hardly. They're here. They want good environment and stuff too. So, okay, that's what I'm doing. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for doing that work. I shared in the chat. Oh, that was a direct message, but I should send it to everyone. We are a partnering organization with Veterans for Peace, and this is a 4-part series that we've been engaging with. I say we've been attending, and Greg and Mike Ferner, the president of Veterans for Peace, I guess he's
Former.
not anymore, but it was last year. So anyway, something that you might be interested in attending as well. And I'm looking forward to checking out these organizations. I want to open up Stack for anyone else to share what they're doing right now, or if anyone has any questions for Lynn. All right, what are y'all doing for Earth Day? Well, actually, let me ask, Lawrence, are you able to talk? Can you share a little bit about what you shared with me on the phone the other day about Earth Day in your area?
Thank you. I was just going to stack to talk about what I've been up to. Well, I've been helping an organization called the California Clean Money Campaign for quite a while, and in California, we've been passing legislation that's been amazingly effective at disclosure, since we sort of figure that at this moment in time in California, we can't stop big money in politics and, today. But one thing we can do today is disclose where that money comes from. So as part of that, we've passed a whole bunch of legislation, and it's amazing how effective it's been. I think we've all gotten spoiled here to know, like, whenever there's a TV ad for a proposition or a candidate or whatever, they have to disclose who funded the top 3 real funders, not the name like Citizens for a Bright New Tomorrow, but it's really the Koch brothers. It has to say funded by the Koch brothers and list the top 3 funders in 1/3 of the TV screen. And I was in Colorado on vacation last summer, and there was an ad that was so obviously sponsored by big oil money. But, if people weren't well educated, they would just think it made a lot of sense and they wouldn't know. So, that kind of legislation is super important. Well, what they've got up their sleeve this year, the California Clean Money Campaign, is to pass the California Fair Elections Act. It's SB 42. And it would finally make publicly financed elections legal in California. Right now, amazingly, it's only legal for charter cities like Los Angeles. Karen Bass ran for mayor of Los Angeles, and they had publicly financed elections. So she signed a contract saying that she refused to take corporate money, and that made her eligible for public, financing dollars. And she beat out a corporate candidate that had millions and millions of dollars, and she's the mayor of Los Angeles now. So we hope to bring that to the whole state. So what we did, a whole group of us carpooled up to Folsom, California, a little city up in the Sierra foothills where Bruni and AOC were coming as part of their Resist Oligarchy tour. And we not only got to listen to amazing presentation, but 4 hours before, while people were in line, we were collecting signatures to the California State Legislature to put pressure on the legislature to pass SB 42. So that was really fun. And at the same time, Jenny real quickly messaged me our QR code so I could walk around with the QR code. And a bunch of people also signed the We the People Amendment the motion to amend at the same time. So that was really fun. And one other quick thing, since Greg, or I guess y'all mentioned what we're doing for Earth Day, I won an $8,000 grant with my California Native Plant Society chapter to plant native trees and bushes and wildflowers and storm drain retention ponds out in Lathrop in the Central Valley. That's just east of the San Francisco Bay Area. And so we're going to actually be clearing the land of weeds and getting ready to do our planting in the fall. Thanks for asking, Pass.
Super love that. Yeah, that's fantastic. I'm glad you got it. I remember when you said you were working on that. That's
Yeah,
great
thank
news.
you so much for helping at the last minute. Appreciate you.
Anytime, always. And that calendar invite went into our calendar, but it doesn't have your email address on it for your call. So I'll loop you into that. I thought that was you, but I wanted to make sure. So now you confirmed it. Would they get the money out, folks? So I want to open it up. Would anybody else like to share? And then here's nonviolent community. There's circles that Moji is, was discussing, and it has his contact information on there, so you can contact him directly.
Greg Stack.
Go ahead, Greg.
Yeah, Moji mentioned when he was speaking about this person named Erica Chenoweth. She is a historian, and her specialty has been nonviolent resistance and the effectiveness of it. And he mentioned something about 3.5%. And what her research indicated and showed is that throughout human history, basically, looking through hundreds of examples of where groups at the grassroots definitely underfunded and outflanked militarily with weaponry and the power of the state and all that that indicates, that despite that, there has been an enormous record of success of resistance efforts that have been nonviolent when they have reached sort of a dual threshold, one being having a majority of support that's sort of tacit. So over 50%, 50% plus one. But the key element is having within that 50%, basically 3.5% of the population seems to be sort of the magic trigger. That when you have 3.5% of the population that's actively involved, actively engaged, actively resisting in any number of ways, that seems to be the turning point. And so she did an interview, and I put the link in. Some of you may be familiar with the NPR piece series Hidden Brain. It's well worth to listen to. That is appropriate for any sort of resistance to any sort of harm, including environmental harms. And there have been, as we know, throughout U.S. history, many efforts at success in stopping disastrous dangers and occurrences to the environment. And, this provides one way to accomplish that. So check it out.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And I think, I think Lynn hit on a good point too about the Supreme Court change. I read an article today about stirring the hornet's nest um, being the Harvard Hornets, and litigation, that they're not going to stop, um, and that that quiet unrelentingness is about to come that way. So I think that's kind of proven with what Moji was saying about coming together with academia. I know that, well, that's another story. Would anybody else like to share some of the work that they're doing right now? Lynn,
Everybody's shy today.
I know.
I wanted
Alfonso's
to
been
put
doing a lot of stuff.
I wanted to put for Lawrence and is it Greg, that your techno people and what have you, if you can look in here on this last thing I just put up. It's kjaj.org. 98.1 FM. It's a local low band. I didn't understand that we really have to go after media as much as as our Congress. It's media propaganda, and I had no idea how important it is. But this fellow that actually is in the area is I call him a wayshower. He's very evolved tech, as good as any tech knows of Musk people, so to speak, his team. 30 years in radio, but high tech. It works with the Chinese a lot with TikTok and what have you from years ago. 30 years radio. He works for nonprofits and for the unserved and underserved. And if you guys can know people that want to get information out, I gave the phone number. And if you know how, I forgot to put in, if you know how to use, your friends use MP3. You can do 30 minutes of an MP3 and get your message to them, and they'll get it on through their radio, which it's low band, so no one hardly knows about it, but it's global. You'll see. They play Tom Hartman and Democracy Now, and nobody else does, and they play Democracy Now 3 times a day, and it's
Fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah.
We'll definitely add this to our media list.
Thank you.
We're trying to find alternative media and connect with them and connect that with the work that we're doing. Non-corporate media. So however you want to term that from there. But this community radio is perfect. Alfonso, you want to share a little about what's happening down there in Texas?
Yeah, sure. So, where to start? Well, so I live in Brownsville, Texas, which, as many of you might know, is where Elon Musk decided to have his little pet project, SpaceX. Um, People down here have been there's a mix a few about that. Some people, which is not a lot, but those related to people that work in the development of these rockets are happy with it, but the vast majority of the people are unhappy because of the environmental impact that this has been causing. And so far, they only done 8 launches, and they want to be doing approximately 25 or more per year. And I live like probably 16 miles away from the base, and even I can feel the earth rumble and the windows shake, doors as well. So people have been organizing. There is a few organizations down here that have been doing rallies and protests. The last one was at the last month during the State of the City address, which, by the way, I found very interesting that there was a fee to go into the venue, which for the first time ever was at a private venue, whereas in the past has always been at the city hall. But this one time they were charging $50 just to go in there and hear your representatives talk about the plans for the city for the next few years. It was just very odd, dystopian even. But there was a large turnout. Approximately a good 90 people showed up outside, mostly from the local Sunrise movement, the local chapter, and some of the representatives from the Carrizo Comecrudo tribe, and Valley Interfaith, which is a faith-based organization that promotes leadership in the community by means of trainings and lots of internship opportunities and stuff like that. So there's a lot of people trying to show up against this, and I was there to help them make the connections between what's going on and the corporate takeover that is happening right in front of our noses. Um, with Elon Musk pretty much buying his way to the presidency, to the Oval Office. And the best systemic solution that I see out there is with the people amendment, which I'm happy to also share that it has been gaining traction in the 119th Congress. But I guess we'll get more into those details a little further when we do the update on the with the people amendment. But yeah, here we've been trying to resist as much as we can, but it's hard when you have a person that just for example, when he recently decided to do his testing launching site here, he threw $30 million to the city council. The money was supposed to be used to improve the city, the roads, and all that. But instead, all that we have noticed is all the commissioners and even the mayor now drive Tesla. So just show where their interests and where they're looking after are really is, which is catering to billionaires in this case. But yeah, that is my take, my report from right here in my own backyard with the corporate takeover from Elon Musk. But yeah, happy to take any questions or elaborate anymore. But big gist, that's the panorama we're dealing with here every day.
Yeah, thank you for that and keeping us apprised of the community response. You're going to Chicago too, right? With
Chicago, yeah, no, it's actually Denver, Colorado. They're gonna be having a training. So details are still TBD, but the Sunrise Movement is planning a mass strike, and they're getting leaders from all the chapters or people from all the chapters that are willing to go to Denver for this training. And again, I still don't know the details of when that is going to be taking place, but they're working towards something big, at least at the national level. So yeah, I will share more as soon as I learn more details.
okay, sounds good. Be safe and be mindful of the current dynamics and environment. I see you, Katie.
Yeah.
Did you want to do a quick check-in and share what you have going on? Well, just check in when you're ready, or if if you have something to say. Barbara, I wanted to open it up for you too. How are things going in your neck of the woods?
Well, we have a new injection well that they're trying to put in close to me. And this is the EPA. They sent out this message and they said, well, they're having a virtual meeting or hearing, whatever they call it. And but you don't have to register, and this is the meeting link. Then you read down, you scroll down a little bit, and it says, but if we don't get anybody if we don't have any interest, the meeting will be canceled. So like, how are they supposed to know if there's any interest if nobody is supposed to register for this meeting?
Yeah, it's kind of like
So, you know,
charging
not so
$50 for
sneaky.
a town hall meeting.
So yeah, so I'm working on getting people to call in and sign up for that, to make sure that they are not able to say that there was no interest. So they just did whatever, you know. It's they tried to do that before, and the injection well in the other direction from me. And they said, they posted in the post office in this little bitty town, this little bitty notice on the wall in the post office saying that there was going to be a meeting. Okay. Didn't, you know, send anything to anybody in the mail or notice on Zoom or anything like that. Just this little bitty notice that luckily a couple of people actually saw it and got some people together, but the meeting that they had was not a legal meeting, and people stood up and complained and showed maps about where all the problems were, ignored it. And it was, you know, like, oh yeah, well, kind of thing. And they got some lawyers and well, actually we got them some lawyers and they fought it, and they were able to get a moratorium, but that lasted for, you know, about 2 months or 3 months. And then they went ahead and said, oh, well, we don't really see any of your problems as being a justification.
Yeah, your audio is a little choppy.
Barbara,
That
You're breaking up on us.
maybe if you can turn off your camera, your audio might be a
within
little
the
better.
quarter mile two. Okay. Yeah, so there were
That's better.
two headwaters of two small streams within the quarter area. There were 104 wells, unplugged wells. They still went ahead and okayed it. Okay, now we got this other one going on. I mean, you know, it's close to an airport, a regional airport, and it's also, surprise, it's close to a prison. So, you know, that's what I'm doing right now. I'm fighting that.
This never stops, does it? I know there was an executive order ending
Nope.
all the moratoriums that were in place. Super parasites. Yeah, no, and it's I think we're at that tipping point though. I do want to say that and we're going to get into doing some updates about our trip to DC and other events that we've been part of, and conversations we've been having. And I want to and you can come back on camera now, Barbara, when you're not talking. And I didn't ask, does anybody have any questions for anybody that's has shared so far? Want to make sure I'm giving everybody that opportunity to talk and engage.
We also
Lynn.
have.
Oh, hang on 1 second, Lynn. Go ahead, Barbara.
Can I continue or let her talk?
No, continue. Yeah, my apologies. I thought you were finished.
Yeah, we also have a group from the college here in town that is they're going to have for next week. They're going to have the 19th. I know there's a lot of stuff going on around the country. They're going to have something called Cookies, Crafts, and Civil Liberties, and they're going to have, you know, people talking about obviously civil liberties, but also about community support for each other. So I just wanted to throw that in. Okay, I'm done.
These are new. All right, Joseph, aloha. Thank you for joining us. You're on mute. Go ahead, Lynn. Wasn't on
Okay.
purpose. I think
Was it
Joseph's trying to get off
okay?
mute to say something. Let's give him an opportunity.
Okay, yeah, because he said he's leaving. Joseph said in the chat that he's leaving.
Yes, I trying to get off this and get on to my next meeting, and I'm not. It's not automatically happening, and I'm working on it. So slow stuff.
Try to scroll down at the bottom. Might help.
Yeah, I'm gonna have
It's not
to
giving it.
leave it instead of. I was gonna just go into the other one, and usually it'll tell me.
You did it.
He did
You made it.
it right in mid-sentence.
I know it's a busy time, and I appreciate y'all coming on this rescheduled meeting.
Could he see the private ones move to amend? Could he see those comments or not? Can everyone see my comments or only move
I
to
can.
amend?
I see your comments, Leanne.
Yeah, no, I see.
Yeah, it says everyone, as long as the box at the bottom says everyone, to everyone.
Yeah, it says no. It says only move to amend.
Well, yeah,
On
but
several
that's,
of my
Oh, you
posts.
might have responded to one of our messages or something. But yeah, so I do see you there, and you do have the ability to change that, but just click on that box.
With that little
How do I
arrow.
do it? Because I
Click
wanted
on the.
to.
If it says move to amend, click on that little arrow on that box. You
The
the
see
arrow?
little blue box.
Yes.
a little
I
blue
don't
box.
see an arrow.
Yeah, it's got one of those
You
like half
see where
arrows.
you're going to type stuff in at
Oh,
when you.
okay. Then my other,
Click.
will it go, will the other ones that I put move to amend, will it go to everybody?
You have to redo
If
it.
you put it in.
I have to
No, you have
redo
to,
them?
it has to say
Yeah.
everyone.
Oh no.
You have to cut
I
and
can
paste
just
each one.
reshare them. I can copy and reshare. All you have to do is copy and reshare, actually.
Oh, I can? Okay, let me do
Copy
that.
and
Yeah,
reshare.
yeah.
This,
You can
this
do a
one's really, this one,
highlight everything, copy and reshare.
okay.
Okay, I want to give y'all some quick updates about our trip to
Greg's sick.
oh, go ahead, Greg. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm just putting in the chat right now, sort of an update. It's related to, where is it?
Environmental.
Oh, here it is.
Okay.
I'm doing a series. It's called a Cultural Change for the We the People Amendment, where I look at different social movements in the United States and lessons we can learn. And because it's April, I'm focusing on the environmental movement. So the lessons, description, each one of these has a description of the positive things, shortcomings of those movements, and then the various lessons that we can learn today, specifically for Move to Amend, but some of these I think are transferable to a lot of other movements as well. So anyway, it'll be posted at that same link at the end of the month.
But just to name it, says it was published on January 31st. Want me to change that real quick?
No. That's the beginning where you scroll down, it shows all of the
Oh, okay, gotcha.
various
All the link.
articles and topics. And so obviously,
Yes.
since this thing is not prepared yet, but it'll be linked at that site come the end of the month.
Fantastic. I'm looking forward to reading it. Let me see here. So quick update about our trip to DC. Would anybody else want to take some of that on? Katie, you want to give a quick update about where we're at? No?
We could do it.
Okay, Alfonso.
Yeah, so last week we pretty much all the team except Greg, who unfortunately couldn't join us this time, but Janie, Cole, Katie, and the interns and myself, we were in DC. We had I believe 16 meetings scheduled, and we did almost 100 congressional offices that we just dropped in to try to get meetings. So we learned that some of the offices have not heard about the reintroduction, so we're hoping that those are easy lifts that we can get back on board. We did get to increase the number by three during the time we were there, and that includes a casual, just random meet that we had with Representative Allgreen from Texas. Katie approached him first, and then I did the same, and I think it was the back-to-back bringing up the amendment that got him to co-sponsor. That he is the first. It's the first that the first time that he has co-sponsor, which is even more exciting. But also just how vocal he is, and I think Katie and I both pitched him the idea of using the amendment to go out and use it as a tool to hammer down the corruption going happening right now. So hopefully he's gonna be a very vocal advocate for the with the people amendment. But we also stopped by some offices of co-sponsors that are already supportive, and just to ask them to be more vocal in this given times, and using the stage that is being set by Musk and company, all the other billionaires trying to buy and privatize everything and anything that is pretty much not nailed to the floor. Um, so yeah, let me see. I can give you guys a detailed list of people. So if any of these are by any chance your representative, please reach out to them to their offices and let them know that we are awaiting a response. If by any chance you are a constituent of Representative Dexter from Oregon's third, Representative Hoyle from Oregon Ford.
I
Uh,
don't think we need to go through all of them. We can maybe share them in the chat. But
yeah.
really, if y'all want to, we can always, if you are interested in joining a call with your rep, we will uh, certainly love to assist in any way we can to have it helping y'all lobby them. But yeah, and it was interesting. It was a lot of fun. We also visited some Senate offices, which was the first time I've been over in their offices, and it's the city's designed to be awe-inspiring, and it was. Thank you so much, Alfonso, for sharing that. I don't think we want to definitely go through all of them.
No worries. I'll just drop those in the chat.
Thank you so much.
Yep.
Does anybody have any questions about any of that work that we did there? Okay, I just want to add that we joined the Hands Off March, Alfonso Cole and I, and really, really engaging, a lot of fun. We met and connected with union leaders, comedians. Um, this, it's just such a great place to connect with like-minded folks and people who can feel like, these are the game changers, right? They feel like they can do something, so they do it. And so that's always really, really a lot of fun. But and the signs, I don't know. I went to the last couple of protests. I was like, where are the signs? Where's the energy? The signs are top notch now. They have the game has been improved upon, and it was just a lot of fun. So there's going to be a lot of different actions happening. If you get an opportunity and you want to join, you should at least join by some live streams on some of it. Get that energy if you can't make it out. You don't want to do that kind of intense because it's work, right? A lot of people are like, "Oh, you're just putting it's work." It takes a lot of energy to go out there and do what we're doing, and it's really important, right? It shows where it shows the energy. It's where we network. It's where we can connect again with game changers and warriors in this struggle and in our movements. We also met with Next System Studies. I see you, and the scholars that are studying. You know, they're taking a look at past systems in general and what went wrong and how to improve upon that as we start the vision for a new system. And we know that we're at tipping points. We're going into a new system, whether we like it or not. And what does that look like? And how can we reimagine that future? So that was really exciting as well. So I just wanted to give a full recap. Katie, is that you? Are you able to talk now? Katie, I see your hand. Is that you, Katie, or Cole? Who's behind that move to amend sign? Speak to us.
Oh, it's me. I'm sorry. I did notice it is moved to
Hey,
amend.
Lawrence.
My name. Sorry,
I've
guys.
been calling you Katie this whole time.
I'm sorry. I should have changed that to me. I just wanted to say another thing that Bernie said that was amazing at that big rally in the Sierra foothills. He said that a couple things that were really powerful. One was to really reach out to other people there and make connections. That's one of the most important things that can happen at those rallies that he's doing across the country. And I was able to do that. I was able to talk to a bunch of different organizations and challenge them to be part of the Move to Amend coalition, including some local Sierra Nevada indivisible chapters. And that was a lot of fun. And then Bernie also, by the way, AOC also really called out Palestine, which was important to me because I heard that they weren't doing that, but they are. And then Bernie gave a big example for like 20 minutes of how bad everything is. And then it all came down to we have to overturn Citizens United and we have to have publicly funded elections. And it was so ironic that my whole team was there for exactly those two things. We were getting signatures for publicly funded elections, and we were working with the best and most comprehensive way to overturn Citizens United. So I just wish that somehow one of us could break through the firewall that prevents us from talking to Bernie. I tried. I got close to where they got in their cars and got whisked away, but I couldn't quite get to access him. But if he announced from the stage when a group of us are there that there are a group of people that are doing just that and to sign their petitions and get on board and then get activated and mobilized and actively, advance the We the People Amendment and publicly financed elections. So there's just got to be a way to get through them because they're just about begging for us, to highlight us because we're the ones doing what needs to be done. But it's just so frustrating when you just want him to say the very next sentence once he leads up to us, and then it doesn't happen. So there's just got to be a way. So anyway, I'm just challenging y'all to figure out a way to get through to either one of those two because boy, we could just it would be just amazing to pick up thousands and thousands of signers for our motion to amend and such. So, but it
Yeah,
was so
I
much
feel
it
like
was so
if
much
we
fun.
could have some signs there, some QR codes. The
Yes.
top hats, the way Minnesota, they're wearing top hats with the QR codes on the side.
Yeah. So I
You
think the
know,
next
we
place they're going to be is Montana. So those are really great ideas. I don't know if it's worth a bunch of us following that tour
we have
around.
folks in Montana.
Good, good, good. Another
I
thing
don't
I
know if
thought
they're
of is that
willing to
if
do the deed, but maybe. I mean,
yeah, and if a whole group of people, you can if you get there real early, you can sit really close to them, and we could all start chanting, "We the people, amendment! We the
that
people,
would be
amendment!"
great.
And that could get his attention, and then holding up the signs and such, because I think that's all doable. So just let me know what's in the works, and if I have to travel to help make that happen, I will, because you're right, we're so close. The time is just right for the geometric curve to round the bend and just take off straight up to make this happen and to grow the movement faster. So appreciate y'all. Pass.
We did go by some of our already co-sponsors and stop in. They created like a one pager of how to connect with other issues that they're involved in, and thanking them, of course, and how, different ways to raise it up. And we asked that they raise it up on this tour. Representative Jayapal. Greg, you've met a couple of times with Sanders' group, but he said again he wasn't going to introduce it, but he would sponsor it.
And
yeah,
we
he
use
probably
in Ohio.
co-sponsor. I think he said he would probably, his people would probably co-sponsor if someone else introduced it. But I'm sorry, very, very disappointed. Based on what his rhetoric is in defining the problem, this is a natural solution, and it's a disconnect. So why it's a disconnect for him speaks to me that, like so often. And, a couple of weeks ago, these main protests and the like of what this tour seems to say and be focused on is not really movement building, is it? It's like vote Dems, vote progressive Dems, but vote Dems. But where's the movement building out of this? And where's the system change that's commensurate to the problem? I don't see it.
And that's really sad because it's not like we don't talk to him about it all the time.
Yeah.
A real tangible, viable, workable solution here that could get real traction
Well,
in putting us in the right direction.
In that case, we can change our strategy to bird dogging.
I love it.
I think it
it
does. I think it does. I think he does need to be bird dog.
I do too.
And AOC as well. It's like, okay, you talk, you judge people by what they do, not by what they say. And what they're doing is incomplete and is disconnected from what they say.
I want to bring our attention to the chat too. Thank you, Alfonso, for sharing folks we've met with so far and some of the wonderful pictures from the hands off. And it was defend the student and let Gaza live protest in DC. But also what Robert said here, he said at Bernie's meeting in Idaho, it is true when supporters of Palestine were being ejected from the event. 20,000, that they weren't mentioning it. Is that what you're saying, Robert? And that 20,000 people then started chanting Free Palestine, right? Am I reading that correctly? That's beautiful.
That just shows how bird dogging works, because I bet you that's the reason why AOC mentioned Palestine in Folsom, California, because that was right afterward. So yeah, hats off to all those people.
Yeah, that's how you do it for sure. If we could just get folks as organized, the pictures aren't as good. Well, they are. Look at them. They're great. Yes, Lit?
I just wanted to make sure everybody saw the information about 8 years ago. Anyway, I was against the LNG export terminal here and got really involved and I got in lots of trouble for it, believe me. And the insanity is there were 1,650, this is almost 8 years ago, 1,650 leaking gas line pipes already. These are fracked areas with cheap aluminum. They went cheap. And with the fracking, it vibrates too much and it wears on these cheap aluminum fittings. There were 1,650 back then leaking. So I'm just saying that my main thing for environment, what I'm guided to tell everybody what we can do is call on the Vatican nation. It's the biggest nation on the planet. And it started a lot of this, okay, with the indigenous cultures takeover. So the Vatican nation, all churches say they're pro-life. And so if they are, then, okay, then you want to go with the CARES Act. You want to pay people to care, not kill. and you want to start the new school education systems and the
Yeah,
green
I mean, I have a lot
cleanup.
to say about all those things, but
But the cleanup, if they don't even
but the
know,
Pope has written the most important treatise in over 200 years about the environment and our
yeah, I know.
obligation to protect it.
Yeah.
My mother's Catholic, so I kind of
The chemical
hear about
biological
but
warfare. Yeah, but I'm just saying that a lot of people have no idea, like chemtrails. They won't even talk about them. I mean, Geoengineering Watch, they have absolute proof from scientists and whistleblower doctors saying, yeah, I do biological warfare, measles included. I mean, come on. It's crazy.
we're gonna add some of these. We're gonna add the chat. We'll go into the agenda. Thank you for sharing that. And I want to open it up and be mindful of everybody's time because we have just a few minutes left. Are there any calls to action? We invite you, of course, to, if you go out to any events or anything like that, you can download petitions or the QR code, which is really easy way to engage. We did have some folks in Minnesota had put, like I was saying, they wore these top hats as their kind of costuming, like to replicate the bankers, and had the QR code on the side, kind of like in Alice in Wonderland. And it got real engagement. It's a great way to start conversation. And it's also a great way for us to connect and build on this space and fill it out more. If that's something that you're interested in, that could be found at movetoamend.org/motion. And put that right here. Dun, dun, dun. Has some of those videos on Judge Papantino. On which ones? You have your shirt. That's wonderful, Barbara. Okay, our next meeting will be on time. We have a lot going on between now and then, and I know as the summer gets going, there'll be even more stuff going on. So if we find at any time that maybe this time doesn't work for us, we can work in that area. So our next meeting will be on May 8th. I will be going to a rebuild and a resist and rebuild conference between now and then, teaching plenaries. There's so much going on, so many amazing things to plug into, building those connections and networking in that way. I will be inviting folks from that space to this space, and listening and seeing if there's any voices there that I think y'all might enjoy hearing. So I will certainly be doing that. That's part of Alfonso will be doing that as well, as we bring more energy and more understanding, more connections into this space. So if no one else has anything else they would like to add, thank you so much for being here, Robert. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for sharing that, Lynn. And be safe, be well, be healthy, and be kind to yourself. You had something else you wanted to say, Barbara?
Yeah, the Green Party is doing a Earth Day to May Day to bring forward the connection between the environment and uh, right.
Ooh. Oh, that's the perfect amount.
Environmental justice.
That's the perfect
civil
amount.
rights, and
Oh, you're gonna put them in here?
all part of the same. I'm gonna throw that out there.
I love that name. We can hear you, Lawrence. I love that name, Earth Day to May Day. I love that whole thought of eco action in that space. We're going to learn more about that, and we'll share it as we do. of course, we're nonpartisan and all that, but when you have a good idea and it can root into action and mobilization, I'm certainly down for that. So thank you for sharing that as well. We have your petition here. Thank you for taking the time to put that together, Lynn, and to sharing it here. I will look into it as soon as we're out of this call, okay? That's okay, Lawrence. I'm glad it's perfect. we all need more of that in our life, right? Thank you all so much. Much love, and we will see you soon.
Bye, y'all.